You're not a hoarder. But that shoebox of birthday cards from 1962? It's holding more than just memories. It's holding space, energy, and sometimes even guilt. If you've ever tried to declutter but got stuck holding an old photo or letter, wondering if letting it go means forgetting, you're not alone. For many of us over 60, clutter isn't just stuff. It's pieces of a life well lived. In the next few minutes, I'll show you a gentle way to honor your past while making space for the life you're living now. It's not about tossing everything. It's about choosing what truly matters. Use 3 simple categories: keep, let go, and preserve digitally. It's not about throwing everything away. It's about making thoughtful choices. Some items belong in your life. Others, a quick photo can capture the memory without taking up space. You'd be surprised how freeing it feels to let go without losing the meaning. And here's the truth. Letting go doesn't erase the past. It clears room for peace today. Wait till you hear what I almost tossed, and the unexpected reason I'm so glad I didn't. Today, we're not just cleaning, we're resetting. Together, we'll walk through a gentle, respectful process to let go of items from the past that may be quietly weighing down your present. This isn't about erasing memories or giving up what matters. It's about choosing what still serves you and releasing what doesn't. You'll keep the stories, the meaning, and the moments, but gain something even more powerful: clarity, peace of mind, and the space to breathe, think, and live fully right now. It's not about less, it's about lighter. Step 1. Identify emotional clutter zones. Let's begin with something small, simple, and manageable. We're not tackling the entire attic today. Just one drawer, one shelf, one box. That's all. Especially the spaces where you've tucked away sentimental things you haven't looked at in years, but still feel a tug when you even think about opening them. These spots may not look like much from the outside, but inside, they hold a mix of stories, emotions, and sometimes unresolved feelings. Maybe it's a box of your children's school drawings, a drawer full of old letters, a closet filled with clothes from a chapter of your life that quietly ended, but never got closure. It might be an old wedding album from a marriage that changed you, or a collection of birthday cards, yellowing with time, from people who are no longer here. Here's what's important. These items aren't clutter because they're meaningless. They're clutter because they're unresolved. You don't use them, you don't display them, but you don't feel right letting them go either. So they sit, gathering dust, and sometimes quietly gathering emotional weight. This first step is not about getting rid of anything. It's just about identifying the places in your home that hold emotional clutter. These are zones that cause you to pause, hesitate, or feel overwhelmed when you open them. Ask yourself a few gentle questions as you scan your space. Where do I avoid going when I clean? Which drawer or shelf feels heavier than it should? Is there a box I keep saying I'll sort through, but never do? Start there. Pick one spot. No pressure, no expectations. Just one small emotional clutter zone that you're ready to face, not to erase your past, but to reconnect with it in a new, empowering way. And remember, this is not about judgment. It's about awareness. Emotional clutter isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you've lived a rich life. You've loved, you've lost, you've grown. And like many of us over 60, you've collected the objects that came along for the ride. But here's the truth. Just because something meant something once doesn't mean it still has to take up space in your life now. When you identify these zones, when you say, this is the drawer, this is the shelf, this is the box I've been avoiding, you take the first step toward clarity, toward healing, toward honoring your past in a way that supports your present. So today, just find that one space. You don't even have to open it yet. Just place your hand on it. Acknowledge it. You've already done more than most people ever do. And when you're ready, we'll open it together. One memory, one object, one decision at a time. Step 2. The 3-pile system. Keep, let go, preserve digitally. Now that you've identified your emotional clutter zone, it's time to gently begin the process of sorting through it. Don't worry, this step isn't about rushing or forcing decisions. It's about clarity and choice. We're going to use a simple but powerful method I call the 3-pile system. Keep, let go, preserve digitally. Let's break it down. Pile 1. Keep. These are the items that still genuinely add value to your life. They bring you joy, comfort, or meaning. You don't have to justify keeping them. They earn their place in your home. But be honest with yourself. Are you keeping it because you love it, or because you feel bad letting it go? A good test, if you take it with you in a move, or you choose to display it proudly, keep it. Pile 2, let go? These are the things that once held meaning but no longer serve you. They may have been important in a season of your life that's now over. Letting them go doesn't erase their value. It simply means you're ready to release the object while holding onto the lesson or the memory. It's okay to say goodbye. In fact, saying goodbye out loud can help. Thank you for what you meant to me. I don't need you to carry the memory anymore. Some things don't need to come forward with you. Your heart and your home need room to breathe. Pile 3, preserve digitally. This one is a lifesaver, especially for those items that tug at your heart, but don't really have a place in your life anymore. Take a photo. That's it. Take a photo of the item, the handwriting, the ticket stub, the keepsake. Add a short note if you want, where it came from, what it meant to you, why it mattered. You'll be amazed at how freeing it is to let go of the object while keeping the memory. Digital memories take up zero physical space, but they can still warm your heart when you revisit them. You can even create a simple legacy folder on your computer or tablet, a digital scrapbook for your most meaningful items. And here's something I want to share with you. I once found an old stuffed animal from my daughter's childhood. Faded, torn, missing an ear. I hadn't seen it in years. At first, I thought, it's time. I almost tossed it, but then I paused. I took a photo of it, sent it to her. Her response? She cried. She remembered naming it, sleeping with it every night, whispering secrets to it. That photo is now framed on her desk, and the original toy was finally laid to rest, with love. I'm so glad I didn't toss it without that moment. That's the power of the preserved digitally pile. This system works because it honors both your memories and your current needs. It gives you permission to hold on with intention, to release with peace, and to save memories in a way that doesn't cost you space or serenity. As you go through each item, don't rush. Let each decision be small, quiet, and kind. You might only get through a few things today. That's okay. Every item you sort is a step forward. Every choice you make is an act of reclaiming your space and your story. And if you come across something that hits you hard, pause, breathe, step away, come back when you're ready. This isn't a race, it's a reset. And remember, you are not your things. You are the love, the memories, the experiences. You get to decide what stays and what moves on. Step 3. Honor the memory without keeping the object. Now comes the most powerful part of this journey, honoring the memory, even if the object itself doesn't stay. This step is where real healing often happens. It's where you shift from being a passive keeper of things to an active curator of your story. When we hold on to objects from the past, it's rarely about the object itself. It's what it represents, who gave it to us, what chapter of life it came from, or what it reminds us of. But keeping every single item isn't the only way to hold on to meaning. You can honor the memory without keeping the physical thing. Here's how. 1. Write a short note or caption. Pick up the item and tell its story. Not a long essay, just a few sentences will do. Write down who gave it to you, what it meant to you, why it matters. You can do this in a notebook, on your phone, or even on the back of a photo you've taken of the item. This was the scarf I wore on my first trip to Paris. In 1975, it was freezing cold, and I remember buying it in a tiny shop near the Seine. I felt like someone else, confident, bold, alive. That's enough. The moment is preserved. The memory is safe, even if the scarf is passed on. 2. Tell the story to someone. Sometimes the best way to honor a memory is to speak it out loud. Call your child, your grandchild, or a close friend and say, "Can I tell you the story behind this old thing I found?" Not only does this connect you with others, it gives your memory a place in their hearts too. And if the person you want to tell is no longer here, tell the story anyway. Speak it aloud or write it in a letter. There's healing in that, too. 3. Create a small memory book or page. You don't have to become a scrapbooker overnight. Just one simple page at a time. Take a photo of the object and next to it, write a few sentences or paste a related photo. Maybe it's a picture of the sweater your father wore every Christmas, a drawing your child made in kindergarten, a menu from the restaurant where you had your first date. Piece by piece, you're not just decluttering, you're building something meaningful. A legacy book, a reflection of a life filled with richness and love. One page can say more than an attic full of boxes. The truth about letting go. Letting go of the item doesn't mean letting go of the love. You're not erasing your past. You're curating it. You're deciding what stories to carry forward and what can be gently released with gratitude. This is your life, your legacy. You get to choose what parts shine the brightest. And you know what? The people who matter most, your children, your grandchildren, your friends, will remember you, not the stuff. They'll remember the way you laughed, the way you told stories, the way you made them feel. They don't need a house full of things to carry your memory. They just need your heart, your voice, and a few chosen keepsakes that carry real meaning. So if you're holding something and asking, how can I let this go? Try this. Write the memory. Tell the story. Preserve the feeling. Then ask yourself, do I still need to hold the object? If the answer is no, you can release it. Not with regret, but with reverence. Because you're not just decluttering. You're honoring your life. One story at a time. Step 4. Let go with intention. This is the moment that feels hardest, but also holds the greatest reward. You've looked at the item. You've remembered, honored, and even documented its meaning. Now comes the step that many of us quietly avoid for years, letting it go. Not by stuffing it in a garbage bag out of frustration. Not by sneaking it into a donation bin without thinking, but by releasing it with full awareness, full respect, and full intention. Because when you let go this way, something inside you shifts. Say goodbye, literally. This may sound unusual, but I want you to actually speak to the item. Say goodbye, out loud. Say thank you. Thank you for what you brought into my life. You served your purpose. I'm grateful, and I'm ready to let you go now. This might feel silly at first, but give it a try. Saying goodbye helps bring closure. It marks the transition from holding on to honoring and releasing. When you place the item in the donation bag, don't think of it as getting rid of it. Think of it as setting it free. Free to serve someone else. Free to move on, just like you are. Letting go is a form of self-respect. Sometimes, we keep things because we think we owe it to our past, to the people who gave them to us, or to the person we once were. But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't mean disrespecting the memory. It means respecting your life right now. You deserve a home that reflects who you are today, not just who you used to be. You deserve a space that feels light, peaceful, and alive, not one weighed down by things that have silently outlived their season. Letting go is not an act of forgetting. It's an act of healing. A story I want to share with you. There was an object I held onto for over 40 years. It was an old coat, heavy wool, with big buttons. It belonged to my mother. She wore it when she took me to school on cold mornings. And I remember clinging to her hand while the wind blew around us. After she passed, I kept that coat. Moved it from house to house, closet to closet. Never wore it. Never looked at it. But I couldn't let it go. Until one day, I pulled it out and really looked at it. It smelled like time. The lining was torn. And I realized, the coat wasn't my mother. It wasn't her warmth, or her voice, or her love. It was just fabric. What I really wanted to hold on to, I already carried inside me. So I took a picture. I wrote down the memory. I said thank you. And then I let it go. That moment didn't erase my grief, but it did shift something. It reminded me that the best parts of her are never stored in a closet. They're here, with me, every day. Letting go of that coat changed how I saw myself, not as someone who needed to protect the past, but as someone strong enough to live in the present. You can do this, one item at a time. Don't worry about decluttering your whole house today. Start with one item, one memory, one moment of release. As you go, you may notice something surprising. It gets easier. You feel lighter, clearer, more connected to who you are. Now, not just who you were. You're not getting rid of your past. You're giving it shape. You're curating a life that reflects your values today, not just your memories yesterday. And that's the beauty of this step. Letting go isn't about loss. It's about choosing freedom. For years, I kept my father's old pocket watch tucked away in a drawer. I never wore it, never wound it. But every time I saw it, I felt something stir. A mix of love, longing, and a heaviness I couldn't quite name. It wasn't just a watch. It was the silence between us. The years we never talked about. Letting it go wasn't easy. I took a photo, wrote a few words about what he meant to me, and placed the watch in a donation box with trembling hands. But something unexpected happened. I didn't feel emptier. I felt lighter. I realized I didn't need the object to hold the memory. I kept the story. I kept the love. And I kept myself. And that was enough. Here's what that same shelf looks like now. It's not empty, it's intentional. Every item that remains has a purpose, a memory, a story I chose to carry forward. I didn't keep things out of guilt or habit. I kept them because they still speak to who I am today, not just who I was. And the space around those objects? That's not emptiness, it's peace. It's clarity. It's room to breathe. Letting go didn't leave a hole. It created space for something better, presence. It feels lighter. And so do I. Is there something from your childhood you've struggled to let go of? A toy, a letter, a keepsake that still tugs at your heart? Share it in the comments. I read every one. And I may feature your story in a future video. If this helped you see your things in a new light, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. There's more where this came from. Simple, gentle resets to help you clear space, honor your past, and live more fully right now.